neutrality and free data for making digital India, organized by Makhanlal Chaturvedi National University of Journalism and Communication, Bhopal, in association with Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Faculty of Engineering, Christ University.
Honorable Vice Chancellor Makhanlal Chaturvedi National University of Journalism and Communication, Bhopal. Our special guest, Dr. Durgesh Mishra, Chairman, Computer Society of India, Division 4, Communications, India. Our keynote speaker, Shri Amit Prakash, Convener, Center for IT and Public Policy, IIIT Bangalore. Guest of Honor, Father Benny Thomas, Director and Dean, Faculty of Engineering, Christ University. Dr. Ivan Jose, Associate Dean, Faculty of Engineering.
Seek out the hopeless, confused and torn. Hold out your candle for all to see. Take your candle and go light your world. Take your candle and go light your world.
We request Mr. C.P. Agrawal to give an introduction to the seminar.
The Makhanlal Chaturvedi National University of Journalism and Communication was established 25 years back. The logo on the right top corner, 25 Rajat Jayanti Varsh, is indicative of the Silver Jubilee celebration we are having from the university around the country. We are having series of different talks and academic discussions that are ongoing in the form of national seminars, symposiums. We already conducted in the series seminar in Mumbai, Delhi, then we have in Bangalore today, and tomorrow we are having in Patna. So instead of having just a celebration by means of food and joy, we thought of having academic discussions, and that is the reason why we are today concentrating our discussion on one of the very relevant topics of today, that is the net neutrality and free data for making the digital India, the dream of Honorable the Prime Minister of India to make India truly digital. This is the discussion that we are having. This university is unique in its way, though it was established by a state government act and we were having all grants from university. There was a time when the university decided and declared that we will not be taking any grants from the state government because we were having our own earning from our consultancy activities. Later on, that grant restarted as a means of necessity for being a government organization, but that is the level of the commitment of the university in the nation. We are having about 900 institutions associated to us, and the vision of the university is, as led by Honorable Vice Chancellor, is quite vocal, quite dynamic in the last couple of years, particularly last decade, where he has been leading the university to further heights. Now this seminar, as you know, is being conducted with the Computer Society of India and of course with this wonderful university, the Christ University, where we are able to witness such wonderful academic work being carried out. The seminar today is providing a platform for initiating a multi-stakeholder interdisciplinary discussion among experts, promising ideas for bettering India's, Government of India's digital future vision. The net neutrality is very relevant to today's society. It's the game-changing, trend-setting event that is going to lead the entire scenario of net and its user in the country in the coming decades. So that is the reason why this is an important discussion. On behalf of the university, I thank all the stakeholders, this is Christ University and CSI and all of you for this wonderful congregation. Thank you very much.
It gives me immense pleasure to introduce Dr. B.K. Kutiala, Honorable Vice Chancellor Makhanlal Chaturvedi, National University of Journalism and Communication, Bhopal. He is also Honorable Director of Panchanath Research Institute, Vice President of Indian Media Center, Director of Board of Directors of Hindustan Samachar, Chairman Review Committee for Studying Existing Constitution and Academic Working of all the Universities of Haryana. Sir has vast experience of 47 years. Sir received his postgraduate in Anthropology and Sociology. He is trained in Film and Television Institute of India, Pune, and Indian Institute of Mass Communication, New Delhi. He is trained and practicing computer programmer, a teacher, a practitioner, researcher in the field of journalism and media, an established academic manager, and has received many awards, including Outstanding Contribution in Higher Education, Chanakya Award, Vedic Ratna Award, Guru Shresth Award, Sarva Shresth Sancharak Award. He has also been associated actively with UGC, UPSC, IGNOU, NCERT, and 20 universities and 22 Institute of Higher Education. Sir, we feel honored to have you among us to share your words of wisdom with us.
Respected Father Thomas, Durgesh ji, Atma ji, faculty of the Christ University, faculty of the Bangalore University, faculty of Makhanlal University, invited guests, and my dear student friends. Is it just a coincidence that the morning when the good news of accreditation comes to Christ University, Makhanlal University is here to celebrate? It cannot be a coincidence. It is as many conspiracies by nature. The nature conspires to bring together people who must work together to go back to nature. And I think we all must celebrate today, not only the Christ University, we must all celebrate that another academic institute gets the sign, the seal of excellence. My personal congratulations to you, Father, to your faculty, to all workers, and felicitation from my university to all of you. Thank you so much, and congratulations. In fact, two conclusions that my previous speakers drew can make a good beginning on a discussion on the subject of net neutrality, big data, and digital India. One conclusion, perhaps a statement, a universal statement of truth is, Internet is a neutral carrier of content. I would add, Internet should be the neutral carrier of the content. It should be. Whether it is or it is not, that needs to be studied, and if there is some distortion, that needs to be corrected. Second is, absence of net neutrality is an obstacle to digital India. I think a very important but loaded statement. Dear friends, we all as a nation fought for our freedom. We got our freedom. But is it the kind of freedom that we envisaged? that we wished for us. As a nation, we all joined efforts to become self-sufficient in food. These are big achievements of my and your country. We got sufficiency in food grains, but is it the kind of sufficiency we dreamt of? Tons of our food grains are spoiled on the roads because we do not have a good storage system or a good distribution system. Did we want this kind of self-sufficiency? We all joined hands. I'm not afraid of talking of politics. A political system created an idea of Garibi Hatao. We all joined hands in that, irrespective of our faiths and beliefs. But did we create a nation without Garibi? Is it the kind of economic nation that we have today? Did we dream of that? We can go on and go on these things, but coming to digital India, no, we all have combined. It is not a political agenda, it is a national agenda. We all want India to be digitalized. And if we learn from our past experiences, then we must be very careful of what kind of digital India we need. And we must make corrective measures during the course of the making of the digital India. And for that, as my two previous speakers have very successfully established, that the digital India must have a neutral internet. It must have a neutral internet, and neutral internet is a concept which is perhaps new to the West. It is not new to us. Our traditional cultures have always been neutral because we always believed in we too, me too, we too, you too, मैं भी, आप भी, और सब. We never believed in मैं ही, me only, or you only. And that is the fundamental difference between the concepts of neutrality and being influential in one way or another. When Britishers came, they said that the natives must be tamed. Was that neutrality? That was not neutrality. We were tamed, but they wanted us to tame in a different format. Now, when we talk of neutrality in terms of digital India, 4 or 5 issues come to my mind, and they have been discussed, but at that there is no harm in just restating them. First, of course, is equality of access. If you have to have a digital India, then you have to have equality of access. Everyone must have access to internet, to www, to all service providers. Everyone must have access. But, my dear friends, everyone must have equal access. 1G to some population, 2G to another set of population, 3G to another set of population, and 4G to another set of population. That is not equality of access. It has to be uniform access. Like they say, education for all. It's good. Education for all is good. But differential education, to some people it is air-conditioned education, and to some people it is a leaking roof education. I think equality of education and equality of access and equality of the access of the same access, similar kind of access. At the same time, equality of being accessed also has to be the major concern of neutrality. Now, if I lie in a certain income group or socio-economic status, my access, the access to me is different than a group of people who are much more higher than in socio-economic status. So, even the organized and the governmental sectors, they access their populations differently. They would access a Christ University student differently and a rural university student differently. Even the government sector. So when we talk of the digital India and net neutrality, it is not only the question of the populations accessing the services, but the service providers also accessing the populations. This is a very important thing. It is our challenge is, let us not repeat the mistakes of that we committed in the distribution of wealth. We created high income groups and very low income groups. Let us not repeat those highly accessed populations and very low or zero access populations. Digitally Garib or digitally Amir. Let us not create that, let us create equality. Then there is access or being accessed is one aspect, but equality of participation. You mentioned it a little bit, that who provides the content to www and internet? Who are the content providers to Wikipedia? Who creates the content for Google? I think these things are also very important, and equality of participation in creating the content is also very important, as certain studies have proven that most of the content is produced in the developed countries. And when we talk of the developed countries, it is the Western world. Most of the content is produced in the Western world, and there is a Western lens to that. Everything is seen from the Western lens. If you search for yoga in Google or Wikipedia, you don't get a view from the population from where yoga emerged. You get a view from the population from the viewpoint of where the yoga has become popular today. So that is also, equality of participation is also an important issue of net neutrality. Then there is another very interesting thing. A Hollywood actor has recently filed a case in a court in West Virginia. He wants Google to erase his mentions in their content, because he underwent a very serious problem of being divorced and being blamed of many things, and he wants Google to erase that content from that, and Google refuses to do that. Now, there is a strong, very strong undercurrent, and there is strong discussion going on all over the world that the www should give you the right to be erased from its memories. If I want that my mention of being given Chanakya Award should be erased from my search. When you search B.K. Kutiala, you get a mention of that I got a Chanakya Award. If I want that this particular information should be erased, the question for net neutrality is, do I have that right or not? Do I have a right that so many myths about my country which are still there in the Google and also in the Wikipedia and also in many other sources, search engines. Uh, should they be erased or should they be retained there? Now, these 5 aspects of neutrality need to be discussed. And I hope this discussion today would be followed by more discussions, and the tone that has been set by previous speakers would carry on forward, and maybe more discussions. And we all know that the ideas that emerge from the universities, from the discussions on the universities, they percolate to the industry. From the industry, they percolate to the systems, and from the systems, they percolate to the society. So what we start thinking today, what we start becoming one-minded today, what we decide today becomes the future of tomorrow, for the nation. Therefore, unequal digitalization on the lines of distribution of wealth and resources should be checked. We should be very careful that when we become the organs of the creating technologies to distribute information, to make information accessible to all, to make information creation, participation, equality to all the citizens of the country, then perhaps as technologists we have a greater role. As has been said, that technology is never apolitical. Technology is always loaded with values. And we as technologists enhance their loaded values. If we are aware of the dangers of loading the technologies, then we would be very careful in creating those technologies which would create equality on all aspects. And if that is done, then perhaps net neutrality, and net neutrality becomes very, very important when we talk of the big data analysis, because big data analysis are going to be very, very value loaded. I hope some discussions would also be carried on big data analytics and there how to maintain neutrality in those analyses also. Perhaps that becomes very important. A very important issue has been raised. Normally it is not raised in such fora. Thank you for that. If you restrict access to all these internet and WWW based services only to those people who know English, then you are introducing the element of inequality right in the beginning. China has managed this problem very successfully, perhaps in a different manner, perhaps by killing lot of rights to information and thus providing a restricted access to the internet. But we, as a country which is multilingual, it becomes very important for us. And I'm happy to note that many service providers, Microsoft, Google, and Apple, everyone is these days working on the Indian language systems, and they have already provided a lot of facilities in the languages. And if we can be equally accessible in most of the languages, then perhaps net neutrality can be maintained, because once you open internet to Kannada, or Tamil or Telugu, then not only the access would be there, but also participation in providing the content would also be there. You might get lot of last month there was a book released by one Ramachandran, Professor Ramachandran, that was Vedas and Tamil, and it's a important and a very innovative research, but it is only available in English, and those people who know only Sanskrit, they are deprived of that thing. And this book, though very important, because I don't know why, but it is not available on the online sources of books. It has to be bought offline. So all these things matter, and when we talk of net neutrality, perhaps the question that you as students must try to find answers is that it was a question asked to Tim Lee, who perhaps invented www. He was asked in an interview by The Hindu, why did you not get your invention patented? Why did you not get patent for your invention? My dear friends, find an answer for that. He said he wanted www to be free. Is it free today? Please find an answer to that. Thank you so much. Jai Bharat.